What's up YouTube, it's RZ. I'm over here at the Gobuku Studios and I'm about to hit you with another anime review, this time for Fire Force episode 4. This one's titled The Hero and the Fire Princess. I think this episode is really cool and there's a lot of mysteries, more questions being asked and some actually being solved from the previous episodes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this episode starts out with the 119, I guess that's what they were called because last episode I didn't actually know what they were called, and you just see them with a bunch of balloons. There's apparently some meteor thing happening in the city. I didn't really get that part too much. Maybe it has something to do with Infernals, I'm not 100% sure. And right then it cuts to a new area, which is Fire Force Company 5, and we learn a lot about their motives and how the main chick is pretty much a sadist, while all the people under her that would be in the same, I guess just the regular Fire Force people, are kind of masochists because they are like okay with all that happening to them. Though this Fire Force 5 is composed of a lot of different people. We'll get into them later because that's actually a big premise of this episode. But we get to see more about how they have to answer to the Hajima Corporation, which doesn't seem like they're too keen on doing. So I think they kind of pull the strings from under is what it's looking like. But there's one chick that is the princess of the episode, and we'll get more into her later. But that's a nice opening. You know, it gives me more questions, but while also having me intrigued. You know, I'm liking how they're opening with these villains and these mysterious things that are happening. So that's one thing that I'm really loving about the series so far. So Shinra, we're back at the 548 company after the intro plays, and you see that Shinra actually hasn't told 5 Company 8 about his brother and his mother, his brother Sho and his mother, who basically turned into Infernals. The entire fire thing happened. He hasn't told them, so they don't know anything about it. We also learned from Takeharu, that the ashes that Joker from the last episode was using are actually from dead Infernals, people who have been put to rest. You know, after you pray, you say Latom, all that stuff. Those ashes that are left behind, those are being used as explosive weapons from whoever Joker's with. I don't know if he's with another Fire Force company or what's going down, but it's really interesting that we saw that. We also get to see Iris a little more, and we kind of get to see more of little bits and pieces of, I guess, character development from each person in 5 Company 8, which I liked a lot. And you see Iris in the church, and she says something about the flames of the original sin, which I thought was really interesting. You know, it's a really short scene, and there's a picture with her, and it looks like a bunch of other nuns. I'm assuming the outro has something to do with what happened to her past, and she's very intriguing because, again, she hasn't really done much, but I'm like, it's in the back of my mind. I'm like, I wonder what's going on with her. So yeah, that's something I really enjoyed. So then you got the funny conversation because you have Maki, Arthur, and Shinra, and they're just doing some paperwork or whatever, and there's a phone call, and Arthur picks up. He's like, what does he say? He's like, the Lord of Camelot, Valiant Knight speaking, and I thought that was really funny because this guy's really playing up the fact that he's a knight, even though he's just a regular dude with he has a plasma blade, which is pretty cool, but he's just a regular dude other than that. And Maki takes the phone from him. We see more of Maki's, like, I guess, brute force side, but it's cool that she's like a monk. She has fire magic, and she also can like kick butt physically, which is awesome. But we see her tell Arthur and Shinra, hey, you guys, there's a dog stuck in a tree. You guys better go get that guy because I'm not going to go do it. So she does their paperwork for them and kind of lets them sneak out because the two of them are button heads as per usual. And it's pretty interesting because we actually find out that Fire Force, I guess people on the Fire Force are different from firefighters. So firefighters are their own thing. Fire Force soldiers are another thing. And that's something that's going to come into play later, which actually goes into the next scene. They're going to the dog mission, and pretty much it's a memorial from the last episode, the old dude that Sheena was like, him or whatever. He's the one that's stuck in the tree. Apparently people hip hooray him, you know, like how they do the hip hooray and then they toss you in the air. Apparently he got tossed into a tree by that happening, which I was like, okay, that's so random. So Shinra saves him because obviously he can fly, gets him out of the tree, and it's explained that there's a firefighter who's on trial lately that who wasn't currently on trial, that actually killed about, I think it was 4 people, or he did a bunch of murders as a firefighter, not a Fire Force soldier. As I said before, they're different. And right then and there, we actually cut to that same firefighter whose name is Miyamoto, not to be confused with the awesome Miyamoto from Nintendo, but his name is Miyamoto. It goes right to his trial, and pretty much he turns into an Infernal, but he's not a regular Infernal. He's an Infernal that can talk. He actually has his mind. He still has his personality. It's just been, I guess, increased to a much crazier level. I guess you could say, he's all fired up. Oh, that was a horrible pun, but whatever. Yeah, so pretty much he goes over there and he just starts killing everyone. Well, not killing everyone, but he chases everyone out of the courtroom. And he goes to start killing people. First the judge and then his lawyer, surprisingly, which is weird because the judge said he was not guilty. Of course, it doesn't take long before word gets to the Fire Force companies. So Fire Force Company 8 is getting ready while we go to Fire Force Company 5, and we see that they are actually also tracking this Infernal. Seeing that he's able to talk intrigues the leader, who, again, we'll get to her more into her later. And she's like, all right, let's all go get them. Meanwhile, you have Fire Force Company 8, except for Sheena and Arthur, because they're helping the 119 sell some balloons. Random AF, but all right, whatever, I'll deal with it. And Maki's kind of being accused, well, not really being accused, but she's like, I'm sorry that I didn't say anything, that I let Arthur and Sheena go without your permission, Takeharu, because Takeharu's like, where the hell are they? And Takeharu in this episode is pretty cool too. We'll see more of that in a bit. You get to them driving out as per usual. Sheena and Arthur catch up by flying, which is cool. And then they get the lowdown on what's going on with Miyamoto, that he's turned into an Infernal. Pretty convenient that they just got the story told to them, and now this happens. But yeah, so after that, they go to confront him because Arthur and Sheena are faster. So they fly over, confront him, and they literally kick the crap out of this dude. He's literally, as soon as they swipe in, he gets knocked across the entire battlefield, which is crazy. And he doesn't even get to get any words in before Arthur's like, what did he say? He was like, you're the cause of the hip-hop hurraying of our friend into a tree. I was like, wait, first off, one was Mamoru the friend. Second off, Arthur is the most random dude ever. I actually really like his character a lot. Like, he's not meant to be funny. He's trying to be taken serious in his mind, but to everyone else, it comes off as just ridiculous and funny, which I loved a lot. Then you have a little bit of a fight scene, and Maki comes in. Fire Force Company 8 actually all arrives. Maki comes in, tries to use a Sputter Comet, which is a cool move, but the Infernal is just like, nope, get that out of there. And that was a funny moment. I mean, I feel bad for Sputter, man. Press F in the chat for Sputter, even though, well, I guess press F in the comments. Respects for Sputter, but that was pretty funny. And then Takeharu's not having any of it. The Infernal's like, I can talk. Don't you see? I'm still a human. Would you really shoot someone like me? Takeharu's like, screw that. He just shoots him in the head. Obviously, that doesn't one-shot the dude because he's an Infernal. I guess it's more of a warning shot because it was like the side of his head. But regardless, Takeharu's not taking any of it. And he's like, dude, I'm just here to get the job done. You're an Infernal at the end of the day. You've lost your humanity. I don't care what. And plus, you murdered people before you turned into an Infernal. So I don't care what you have to say or how much you plead. I'm not going to give in. Meanwhile, Akitara, on the other hand, is kind of, he's weighing the options. Like, this guy can still talk. Shinra's the same way. He's like, this guy can still talk. Should we actually be trying to kill him? Maybe he has something else that he can still be redeemed, and potentially it could be an answer to what's happening with human combustion or spontaneous human combustion and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting to see that the two sides are being weighed like that. Oh, also to add on to this, Takeharu's explanation for why this guy can talk, Miyamoto, is really stupid. He's like, someone with a strong will or, very strong heart, strong will to live can actually talk if they become, I'm just like, guys, that's literally the explanation they gave in Kingdom Hearts 2 as to why people become Organization 13 type nobodies versus the Dusk. Like, seriously, any of my Kingdom Hearts fans out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was just a dumb explanation. Honestly, I didn't like it at all, but that's, a small thing. Overall, it's still pretty cool. So anyways, Sheena goes to find Miyamoto because he escapes. Obviously, everyone's talking, all Fire Force Company 8, and then he gets out of there. I'm like, seriously, they let him get away. And Shinra is the only one who could fly, so he flies and chases him. Not before Takeharu tells him, that thing's not a human. It's an Infernal. Kill it. Don't worry about what it's saying. Akitara is actually the one who wanted to tell Sheena that because he's the captain, but he couldn't bring himself to do it, and Takeharu knew that. So I like that little character development between them, kind of knowing each other for a while. Sheena goes over, we get a pretty epic fight scene with him and the Infernal. Like, he literally kicks a car down into him with his fire kicks, and I loved it. I thought that was a really cool fight. Then it begins to rain. Miyamoto tries to say some BS. Obviously it doesn't work. He's like, "Oh, I saved. You know how many people I saved as a firefighter?" Shinra's like, "Yeah, well, you know how many people you killed as well. Like, you shouldn't be able. You're not right in the head. Like, something's wrong because you shouldn't be murdering people if your entire job is to be a hero for them." And yeah, so that's one thing that I was like, "Oh, I like the motivational struggle there," and the fight scene itself was really cool. Something happens soon in the episode, actually dealing with Fire Force Company 5, who we do see in the next scene, and they're all on top of this mountain. They're just looking down at Sheena fighting Miyamoto, and their company is made up of some weird people. First off, you have Charlie's Angels. It's literally Charlie's Angels. Their name is a ripoff of Charlie's Angels, being what are they called? They're called the Fifth Angels 3, which is literally Charlie's Angels. And they also have this dude with a weird shaped head. You thought the dude from episode 1 had a weird shaped head? This dude has an even weirder shaped head. He is literally like a triangle. It's so weird. But you have him, you have this one dude who we'll see later who's a total asshole, and you have the main person named Princess Hibana. I don't know who voices her, but she sounds familiar. And they all come in to kind of stop Shinra as he's about to kill the Infernal. And they're like, "Hey, look, we know what you're trying to do, kid, but we'll take it from here. We're Fire Force Company 5. Let us take this dude in. We don't want him to die. We want to study him." Shinra's like, "What? This is Fire Force Company 8's job. Like, come on. I'm already in super, like, I'm ready to go. I got my flames from my feet ready to kick this guy in the face and just he already kicked his hand off, by the way, earlier in the fight. He's ready to just kick his face off at this point." And what ends up happening is Shinra gets stunned because Princess Hibana somehow has some crazy flower powers that's able to, I don't even know how to explain it. It's able to, like, stun you. It paralyzes Shinra to the point where he's on the ground. He literally cannot move, and he's just stuck there. And Hibana is obviously, she's a sadist, as I said before. She puts her heel on the floor and she's like, lick my heel. I was like, whoa, this is getting really weird right now. And Shinra's like, what are you talking about? I've never even heard of this. I'm sure Shinra hasn't even heard of what BDSM even is or any of that stuff, but or masochism, I don't know. It's funny anyways. But Shinra doesn't have it, but there's like a funny, perv moment where he gets an upskirt look at Princess Hibana's upskirt shot, and that was kind of funny, I guess. But he luckily is saved because the Charlie's Angels clones come in and tie him down. He kicks out of it actually though, because he's survived. Well, yeah, he's able to kick out of their grasp. So that just shows you how powerful Shinra is. But I think Princess Hibana can actually get the upper hand on him if she really wanted to. It's here where we see that Fire Force Company 5 really doesn't care about humans. They're knocking humans out of the way to go try to reprimand Shinra, and Fire Force Company 8 comes in, and luckily they put a stop to the violence that's about to happen, because Shinra was about to throw down. He was about to fight all of those people, the Charlie's Angels, the triangle shaped head dude, and Hibana, and whoever else was there. Shinra was ready, but luckily Akitaro and the group get here, and Akitaro talks because it's captain at this point, and you see that he's like, all right, you know what, if you want to study this Infernal because he is unique, I'll let you do it, but you got to share the results with us. And she's like, huh, you're making demands? Well, honestly, you can't really do anything. You don't have any powers. You don't have any fire powers, Akitaru, and neither do you, Takeharu. And I was like, ooh, that kind of, it's true. She's not wrong. Luckily, though, we see a nice family moment here. I would say that this shows me why Fire Force Company 8 feels like a family more than just a bunch of people that are working together. And that's because you get this one dude, his name is Toru Kishiri. He's a total jerk face. He can blow bubbles and make them explode into fire, which is pretty cool though. But he pretty much is taunting Akitaru. And luckily Shinra and Arthur come in and they're like, oh really? You're going to try to taunt our captain? Like, we're about to destroy you. Maki comes in and punches him in the gut, and he just goes right to his feet. I was like, damn. And it's crazy because even Takeharu is like thumbing up. Like he does it subtly, but he thumbs up with Maki, which is pretty funny. And even Iris is kind of like in the background, kind of smiling and stuff. And there's a nice shot. I'm probably gonna make this the thumbnail of all of them when Akitaro says, "Look, this is pretty much my group. You're gonna have to get through all of us if you want to mess with us. So you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, and we will not stand for that." And that's pretty much how the episode concludes. Yeah, it's pretty much how the episode concludes, where Akitaro is basically like, share the information with us, everything will be good, but if you try to overstep the bounds, me and my group will find you and we'll, make sure you pay. I really liked this episode. I think it really showcased a lot of the different fire powers, unique fire powers that people can do with, Sputter, the Sputter Comet. You also see the flower power slash, by the way, Hibana can actually attack with a fan, which is cool. Like, she can light a fan on fire and attack with it. And you also see Shinra doing some more crazy breakdance moves and just the fire kicks in general. One thing that was kind of weird though, why were they able to fight with fire when it was raining? I didn't understand that at all. Unless I missed something, because it started raining when Hibana showed up, then it stopped raining. It was like, was that just a dramatic set piece? Because it didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I really like the whole family thing. Again, I'm a sucker for having the group grow and actually have character development between your main characters. And so far, this anime has been doing that. The only person we haven't really seen much of is Iris, but everyone else in the group, even people you wouldn't think, like Arthur, who's very like noble and whatever, like kind of selfish in saying that he's kind of like, a knight, the really way better than everyone. He's even part of that family unit, and I like that a lot. One thing I didn't like though was the explanation on the Infernal. The fact that random Infernals can now be able to talk. I'm like, I think I know where they're going with this. If you really want to go the predictable route, I think you're gonna see Shinra's brother Sho become an Infernal that can talk, and it's gonna get to him. He's not gonna be able to fight him, and yeah. But the other thing is, Shinra is kind of, well, I wouldn't say that he's too powerful, but he's definitely like there's not much effort that he needs to put in to actually hurt the Infernals. But I think Hibana probably would have been able to put up a fight against him. And obviously he can't do much against Maki. And then Maki's Sputter attack got blocked by, and I'm thinking about it, she's less powerful than the dude, but the dude is less powerful than Shinra, but Shinra can't be Maki from episode 2. I don't know. I'm not going to debate power levels in this thing, but it's just a bit inconsistent, I guess, is my point. But the whole Infernal talking thing, yeah, I didn't really like that too much. Overall, I thought it was a very good episode. I'm hoping we see more of the different Fire Force companies in the future. I hope we also are able to see more of, I guess, a struggle between different Fire Force. Or maybe are all the other Fire Force companies working together in tandem, and Fire Force Company 8 is the only one who, because they're new, they don't even have a science group, as Hibana said earlier in the episode. Are there going to be more Fire Force groups that are working together to fight against Company 8? Or is it can we have like a Fire Force Company battle royal where it's like 3 different companies going at it at once? That'd be pretty crazy to see. And yeah, I also did forget to mention that the 2 people I mentioned, what was his name, Toru and Hibana, they're both 3rd generations. I don't really think that matters too much. But yeah, anyways, that's my review of Fire Force episode 4, titled The Hero and the Princess. The next episode is called The Battle Begins, I believe, and we'll see that next week. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Leave any comments with what you thought about the episode down below, and what do you want to see from us in the future? Do you want to see more anime reviews? Do you want to see more anime content? Maybe do you want these to be longer or shorter reviews? Overall, I hope you guys all enjoyed this content, and we'll be back with more anime stuff in the future, more Fire Force every single week for all of you guys. And with that being said, this has been RZ. I've been at the Gobuku Studios, and this has been Gobuku, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.